Absolute elation from Warner, the captain of Karachi Kings there. His side putting on an absolute clinic against their Quetta Gladiators today. 175 for 7 they put on after electing to bat and take the game on first. And in the end, Quetta had no answer for them. Managing to bat out the overs, but only managing to scrounge to 119 for 9. Hello and welcome to the Pitchside Studio, unpacking all of the action of match number 8 of the HBL PSL. Karachi Kings taking on the Quetta Gladiators. Both sides really wanting to take on the game today. Both coming off a win and a loss, needing to get that winning momentum, and a man that was certainly at the forefront of that with the ball. Hassan Ali, Hassu, the larrikin himself. Welcome to the studio alongside
Thank you.
Uru.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Mate, we were talking to you literally in the warm-ups. You were sitting right behind us and you said, I said, how many wickets are you going to take today? And you said 3. And I went, okay, after 4 for 28, maybe you're going to have an off day, but absolutely brilliant once
I think
again.
that was Falook. I just said that, and yeah, but I lucky I got the 3 wickets, and I said that earlier. So I've been blessed.
Yeah, absolutely. You bowled absolutely brilliantly once again, and you're finding some wonderful form with the ball as well. I know you've worked incredibly hard the entire time, but it's really clicking for you now. What have you been doing?
Well, actually, I have been injured, so I was away from the cricket like 6-7 months. But the amount of work, hard work I did at NCA with the NCA coaches and the NCA physio and the trainer, I think that things paying me off now. And when I came here, when I arrived here, even before that, I played national T20. I became a best bowler, but this tournament is very, very important for me, who's gonna decide where I'm standing. But yeah, I've been blessed, alhamdulillah, and just doing normal things.
हसन, आपका बड़ी अच्छी फुटेज है हमारे पास आपकी दोनों बेटियों की. आप इनमें से एक को प्रेजेंटेशन में भी लेकर बताते हैं कितना सपोर्ट होता है. वैसे फैमिली का साथ होना, ऑब्वियसली अप्स एंड डाउन्स का ये सफ़र फैमिली के साथ चलता है, तो जब बैड डे होता है और गुड डे होता है, दोनों का एक बताएं कि किस तरह से होता है.
बिल्कुल, आई थिंक फैमिली वो ऐसी एक चीज़ है कि जो आपके चाहे अप्स हों या डाउन्स हों, वो आपके साथ रहती है. एंड आई थिंक आई सेड के मेरे पास अल्लाह की 2 रहमतें हैं और अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह. एंड मोर इम्पोर्टेंट दैट कि मेरी जो वाइफ है वो बहुत सपोर्टिव है, एंड ही ऑलवेज यू नो द आस्क मी एंड पुश मी कि आप फोकस अपनी क्रिकेट पे करो. तो अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह आई कैन सी, आप भी देख रहे हैं कि अल्लाह की रहमतें हैं मेरे पास और वो खेल रही हैं. एंड आई थिंक इट्स वन ऑफ द बेस्ट फीलिंग कि जब आप परफॉर्मेंस करते हैं, आपकी फैमिली जो है वो स्टैंड में बैठ के आपके लिए जो है वो सपोर्ट करती है. तो आई थिंक
एज एन एक्सपीरियंस प्लेयर आपने बात की कि 6-7 महीने से काफ़ी मेहनत कर रहे हैं. पाकिस्तान टीम में कमबैक भी आप आई एम श्योर आए कर रहे होंगे. कितना फ़र्क पड़ता है इन चीज़ों से, डोमेस्टिक अच्छा होना, PSL अच्छा होना, ताकि वो कमबैक जो एक बड़ी पिक्चर है उसको देखें?
आई थिंक फॉर मी इट्स वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. जब आप सीन से ऑफ होते हैं तो आपके पास बेस्ट अपॉर्चुनिटी है कि आप जाके डोमेस्टिक खेलें. एंड आई ऑलवेज सेड दैट इन माई इंटरव्यूज़ ऑन द टीवीज़ के प्लेयर्स को जो है वो डोमेस्टिक क्रिकेट खेलना चाहिए, क्योंकि वो एक ऐसी चीज़ है जहाँ पे आप अपना कमबैक कर सकते हैं. तो मैंने वही फार्मूला जो है 2020 में भी वही किया. आई प्लेड डोमेस्टिक क्रिकेट. इस साल मुझे उतना टाइम नहीं मिला, बट ये है कि नेशनल T20 खेला और उसके बाद जो है PSL खेल रहा हूँ. तो ये बहुत अच्छे प्लेटफार्म्स हैं हमारे लिए कि जहाँ पे आप जाके अपना आप दोबारा शो कर सकते हैं और सेलेक्टर्स को इम्प्रेस कर सकते हैं, टीम मैनेजमेंट को जो है इम्प्रेस कर सकते हैं.
Look, you always bring the vibe in the team as well, but now you're absolutely bringing the wickets time after time in this edition of the comp. What is making him so potent at the moment, do you think, Ruji?
I think his tenacity, the will of always wanting to come back, always wanting to do better. I think that is important. He's always up for a fight. And the one thing that I like about Hassan, he is not afraid to put his hand up and say, I got it wrong. And that is probably the biggest thing in terms of learning, that he'll say, I got it wrong, I need to do better. I think that is a massive quality, only then do you improve. And I think today he bowled absolute brilliant lengths, understood what the nature of the surface was doing, and played the pivotal role of being that experienced player that Karachi Kings really wanted to fire.
I absolutely did. I think he's absolutely our refreshing moment of the night. Let's take a look.
Yeah, refreshing and energetic. He told you he was going to get 3 wickets. Well, this is exactly how he got them. I thought that was a peach of a delivery. Hit that good length and just got the outside edge. Brilliant take by Khushdil behind the stump. So maybe half of that wicket Hassan can give to Khushdil.
I think it's full of wicket for Khushdil Shah. The way he took the catch, and yeah, you know, when you're bowling on the right area and when you're hitting your, the areas, and when you bowling on the plans, there's always something fun.
And change-ups as well towards the back end when you're bowling in the depth to deliver that change of pace to clean up the tail. Extremely important. And then the send-off.
All right, let's talk about those celebrations because they are one of a kind and they're innovative. You never know what you're going to get with Hassan Ali, and when you get 7 wickets in a game, you're going to get some variety. Hassan, walk us through these. I love it.
Thank you so much. I think my celebration is always give the energy to the crowd and the teammates, and that's how I am carrying my celebration.
ये तो signature celebration हो गया. अबरार को अबरार का send off दिया, ये कहाँ से आया था?
मैं उसके साथ बैठा था बस sitting last night, and मैंने उसको बोला था कि यहाँ तो मैं तुम्हें बॉल मारूंगा या आउट करके तेरा celebration करूंगा, and he's such a nice guy, and we just having a good fun over there.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant. We just love the energy and the vibe that you bring. And I love the fact that you always bring something a little bit different to your celebrations on the field. You're an absolute delight for us watching TV at home. But Mohammad Nabi, the turning point. Let's take a little look at what the veteran did tonight.
Yeah, Mr. President, 40 and doesn't get younger. For him to come into the team, bowl that first maiden wicket over in the HBL PSL this season, turn out numbers of 7 for 2 massive wickets. I remember he scored 18 odd with the bat as well. Absolutely
I think he should
phenomenal.
be man of the match. For me, I think he should be man of the match.
All right then. So Vincy can give his hair dryer to Nabi then.
No, we don't have more hair
Oh,
dryers.
hair dryers are done.
Absolutely brilliant by him. I mean, whether he was absolutely belting boundaries off the back or taking poles, wicket maiden, just brilliant from Mohammad Nabi tonight. I mean, so much experience in the Karachi Kings now. You've got Mohammad Nabi coming in off the bench. But I want to ask you, Huss, about David Warner. What is he like as a captain, and what has he taught you already in just a few matches?
He kept very simple things. He always said, bring your attitude up and never give up attitude. And the things which I like, he brings everyone on the table, and he talks with the juniors, he talks with the bowlers all the time. We can see he's running towards the bowlers, and he always asks what field you want, and he always there to help to everyone. So I think that the kind of people we really need in our dugout, like Nabi, he always there to help the boys. So he kept the simple thing, and I think that's working for us.
You've been such an integral part of the HBL PSL for so many years now, and I'd love to show you something here, because how does this sit with you? The most wickets ever in the HBL Pakistan Super League, 116 poles, sir.
Well, there's always, that achievements always give you the confidence. I think the become highest wicket taker of the HBL, and it's been beautiful journey. 10 years, it's gonna be 10 years now, and I have just passed my teacher, my Ustad Wahab Riaz, and these goals give you the confidence to keep you the running hard and doing the the more better things. So as I said, I've been blessed, and Allah Almighty give me the power and the support. So I'm doing my hard work all the time.
And any career goals for you now as well? Ticking into your 30s, obviously still plenty
Whoa,
of good
whoa,
cricket
whoa.
left in you. I know, I know.
Hold on.
Well, we've always got dreams and aspirations, right? I think as cricketers, the passion for the game lives on, and because franchise cricket is expanding, there's so many new opportunities now as
We
well.
really want to win this year. We really want to give this trophy to Sulman Bhai, the honor of Karachi King, and this is our collectively dreams. And my dreams to become the best bowler.
A shout out for the crowd as well.
As I said,
समझाओ.
As I said, कि हम अच्छी क्रिकेट खेलेंगे, crowd will come. We don't go to and ask the request. अच्छी क्रिकेट खेलो, crowd आएगा.
आज जीत चुके हैं.
आ जाइएगा please.
Hasu, you're an absolute delight. You're the vibe. We love you here in the HBL
Thank you
PSL.
so much.
Congratulations on that new milestone. We let you go celebrate with the team, but best of luck next match.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, off to a very short break here in the Pitchside studio. Stick with us, plenty more to come. I think I see a little Mike Hazeman over on my left. Stick with us. Right, well, here's the story of the game for match number 8. Karachi Kings winning the toss, electing to bat first and posting what ended up being some massive scoreboard pressure. 175 for 7, led from the front by English international James Vince once again, 70 of just 47 rocks. David Warner, good to see him in the runs, putting in a massive opening partnership with Tim Seifert, which ended up being the difference. A huge power play there, which was backed up by James Vince. Not too much the bowlers could do about it. Spin effective though with Ali Majid on debut, and Amir 2 for 42 for him off his 4, but in reply, well, Quetta had no answers. They made it to the 20th over, but 119 for 9 was all they could muster. Saud Shakil, he was a bit of a bystander for his 33 red ink off 40 balls up the top of the order, batted right the way through the innings. Amir, some late cameo hitting from him, 30 off just 18 balls, and then Mohammad Nabi 2 for 7. Oh my goodness, the spell of the tournament, I reckon, so far. As we welcome in Mike Hazeman into the Pitchside studio, one-way traffic it really feels like for the Karachi Kings today. What a bounce back.
I mean, I thought they were terrific today. I mean, I said a couple of days ago on the show, we were talking about the team that we liked and who we'd seen all the teams so far and who we liked and who we thought might go forward. And I said I hadn't given up on the Karachi Kings yet, because I thought after that defeat they were going to feel really bad about it and they were going to bite. And I thought that it was going to be a situation to come back bouncing. I knew that come back firing on all cylinders. Actually, I knew that David Warner's going to galvanise that side as best he possibly can. And I also knew the fact that he was going to be talking so much about the power play. I don't know how many times I've heard, and you also, Rouge, have heard him talk about how important it is to protect the wickets in the power play and protect your power play to make sure it doesn't get out of control, like what happened with the Gladiators, of course, and they lost 5 in the power play. But the way that they went about it in the power play, the Karachi Kings, I thought was terrific. And Warner, of course, just got out right at the end. But that set the base for it. Yeah, they had a couple of hiccups after that, but they set the base with that power play and then fired up at the end again with James Vince. So I thought it was a really good performance.
They absolutely did. James Vince was just brilliant once again for Karachi Kings. He was our man of the match.
I like the way that James Vince, I mean, that 100 he got, I thought was sublime, and he missed out second ball in the second game, and he looked so determined when he arrived today. And I just like the way that almost from the moment he arrived, he realised he's in form. He realised that he had an opportunity to bat really deep and basically control and steer this ship to get close to, in his mind, I guess, he's probably thinking about the 160-ish mark, but then he would have known that someone played really well, and it was him that played so well that got him to the 170 odd. And I thought it was a really good performance, controlled performance. He didn't do anything rash. It was great.
Clinical performance from the Englishman once again. He's in the top 2 now of our leading run getters of the HBL PSL Season 10. Already seen him score a massive century, Erouge. It's just wonderful to see him take flight in a really measured innings today that built into something massive. But 171, are you surprised to see him up the top?
Not really. I think he's one of those international players that franchises eye, and to provide stability, plus he has that aggression switch as well. That's the biggest thing about him. So where he needs to grind out, he can grind out, but when he needs to really put the foot on the pedal, he does that as well. That's where one place where Karachi Kings were really faltering in the last couple of seasons, where they didn't really have somebody who could hold the innings together and when required even sort of put the foot on the pedal. But I think 170 odd as well, both in winning causes. Remember, one in a chase and one in setting a score, just provides that complete finishing touch to Karachi's batting lineup.
If I can just add one other thing, he's one of those guys that he's really nice to watch play because he's just got that little bit more extra time than most. And it often happens with left-handers that you can see that more. But with James Vince, he just has that little bit more time to position himself in the right spot and to make sure that his head's in line with the ball and he doesn't rush, and he never seems rushed. So he's one of those guys. It's nice that next time you see him bat 2 days' time, just watch him. Just a little bit more time than the rest of the guys that are batting around him, who sometimes look frenetic. He looks so calm.
Yeah, rocks on the back foot and just absolutely punishes the bowlers all around the park. Just beautiful work by James Vince once again. A huge reason why that 175 scoreboard pressure proved far too much for the Quetta Gladiators. Let's remind ourselves of those fall of wickets.
Yeah, it was a tough outing out there. They were very quickly 5 down, all within the power play, and it all started. There were some really, really good takes, exceptional. Hassan Ali already mentioned Khushdil Shah a wicket belongs to him. And then came the spin. Mohammad Nabi, I think, provided a really, really good strangle hold. And an all-round bowling performance. There were wickets shared all around. They were really good in the field. Amir Jamal with a great catch. Ground fielding was extraordinary as well, which wasn't quite the case when Quetta were out there. So a lot of the times with the bowling, they have to really back it up with great fielding. And I thought that's what they did. The death bowling was phenomenal. All bowlers chipped in. Remember, Nabi and Amir Jamal, both inspired selections, both paying dividends. And then Hassan Ali, you can't never take him out of the game.
Oh, that celebration. No better than Hassu. Wonderful work by the bowlers. Clinical performance by the entire bowling unit, but Hassan Ali, the rise back to the top again, the leading wicket taker ever in the format of the game in terms of HBL PSL. Hazy, what do you like about how he's extricating his wickets now?
So there's a couple of things which I've noted today in particular, and yes, coming from the 4 for 28 in the last game would have given him a real boost of confidence. You can see that he's smiling, enjoying himself. You can see the fun he was having with Ibrahim Ahmed right at the end there, but he's just really enjoying himself. There was a period of time when he was out of favour with the national side where he was running to the crease far too quickly and often wasn't balanced enough and wasn't actually, I guess the word is, in a right position to really get bowl to arch back and bowl properly. Is running through the crease more than anything because he was just running too quickly, and I think that's something that someone's had a word to him about, and I know he has worked on that in the past, and he's said that that's something he needs to keep an eye on. So I think they've got this right, and that's I think something that he's doing now, and he's getting really good rewards. I think he's also enjoying working with David Warner. I mean, he was saying the conversation with you guys, I mean, Warner's a pretty inspirational sort of individual in a team environment, and I think that he gets the best out of those players.
A reinvigorated, inspired Hassan Ali. Ooh, spells good news for Karachi Kings. Off to a very short break here though, but do stick with us. Plenty more highlights on the other side. Welcome back to Pitchside Studio, unpacking the Karachi Kings' emphatic victory across the Quetta Gladiators. Some brilliant fielding across both sides today. So let's take a little look at the safe hands of the night.
Yeah, brilliant. I think Karachi Kings, they were really good, but we've got to discuss this one from Finn Allen. Quetta Gladiators to dismiss Mohammad Nabi, where he was 2 sixes on a trot. Really good to keep his momentum within the boundary, lob it back in, and then make sure he did not touch any part of his body on those advertising cushions. It's very, very good.
So
this one, yeah, but this one as well. Top it up, diving to his right side. Khushdil Shah with a brilliant take.
Yeah, that came like an absolute rocket there. Some wonderful catching in the field, but for Quetta Gladiators, other than the exception of Phil Allen, it was pretty dire straits in the field, it has to be said. Sloppy fielding, Hazy, we know how important it is to be really crisp in that format of this game, but you know, what did you make of this? You're leaking valuable runs.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's such an important part of the game, as you said, and I mean, this should have been run out by a mile, and it was James Vince again. Remember, he had a life on one before he got that 100. He should have been run out there. The throw should have been better. He would have had more time as well, I think. So these things going down were far from ideal for James, and also, of course, for the Gladiators. But you've got to get it so good. You've got to get it absolutely ideal. And I think that all the teams pride themselves on the fact that they are good fielders, but sometimes it can go horribly wrong, and there are times where it did. But if you think back to the first game with the Karachi Kings, they were terrible in the field, and their bowling was terrible as well. They've got both those departments correction, actually it was the first game and also part of the second game. But they've got both those things right now, so they've got things on track. So that's a good sign for them. But it's essential. And that Finn Allen catch, by the way, I thought was just magnificent. And I mean, the guys. We all know the guys practice that quite a lot these days, but you've still got to make sure you have the key players in the right spots. The guys who've got the awareness, the athletic ability, the skill that can still. I mean, he could have yawned a couple of times, I think, and still taken that catch.
They just have so much time and the athleticism on the boundary. I mean, how do you even practice something like that? The timing of getting that jump exactly right so you don't accidentally step out, Ruji, and it goes for 6. What was your pick, both of you? Who do you think had the better catch between the two?
I think Khushdil Shah. For the slips, the reaction time is negligible. The anticipation, yes, he's gone to his right side being a lefty, but those nicks just slightly off. They come at a rapid pace. So for me, Khushdil Shah, as brilliant as Finn Allen's catch was, I thought Khushdil Shah definitely tops it.
I agree with that. I mean, it's he had to move a long way, Khushdil Shah, and he had no time whatsoever. So I agree with that. I think those are the better of the two catches, but it was spectacular from Finn Allen.
Yeah. Let's have another little look again. It was absolutely brilliant work. Khushdil Shah. I mean, the reaction time on this, it blows my mind when you're actually out in the middle and seeing how thick and fast that ball is coming at you. It's so impressive.
Impressive. Like I said, reaction time there is negligible. It has to be a split session, and then you have to make sure it sticks when you fall on the ground.
Oh, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
But you know, we know that Finn Allen did a beautiful bit of work on the boundary. We'll have another little look at that one for Mike Hazeman because he said it was a bit of spectacular work. But I totally agree, Hazy. He just seemed to have so much time.
Yeah, correct. I mean, he knew from the moment it was hit, he knew exactly what he had to do. He was thinking as the ball was coming, he knew what he had to do. He knew where the boundary line was. He had a bit of a look down as he took the catch and realised straight away. But his balance was ideal. And timing of releasing the ball was just spot on and effortless, absolutely effortless.
Very slick, isn't it?
So easy. Yeah,
it's like
annoying,
a well-oiled machine.
It's annoying, yeah.
I mean, they were practicing just here, which is when Hassan Ali was telling us he was going to take 3 poles for sure tonight. But watching them actually practice it is so impressive, and obviously such an integral part of the game now. I'm not a surprise to see them taken so regularly. Off to one very more short break at the moment, though. Do stick with us. We have one last little snippet of highlights you're not going to want to miss. Pitchside studio for the final time tonight. Welcome back, and there was plenty to love about that emphatic win by the Karachi Kings, but nothing more so perhaps than some of that final over slogging by the veteran Mohammad Nabi. Let's have a look at his Super Sixes.
He always sets himself really deep in the crease. And he's one of those guys who can get after bowling. If they try and bowl a little bit wide, he can get after them. They try and bowl the ball up to him. He can get under it and go straight. He's so strong straight as well. But hitting a couple of sixes off the last over, the first 2 balls of the last over was really, really important and not got them to the mid-170 mark. Really good stuff.
Yeah, super effort by the Afghanistani international there, Mohammad Nabi, the president, Aruj. I mean, the presence of mind and the experience of playing the game from probably what, if he's 40 years old, I reckon a good 35 years of his life, to stride to the crease and played over 400 T20s. That's the experience you want to be able to go from ball one, isn't it?
And that's what you want for an experienced man, to come in and deliver in the limited time that he got. A couple of sixes, and obviously he got out. He was dropped by a very simple take from Saud Shakil, but then he makes the most of it, and that's the experience that counts. And then to come in and bowl the over spell that he bowled, a maiden wicket in the first one in the tournament in this year's HBL PSL edition, 7 runs just in his 4 overs, 17 dot deliveries, and that was an all-round effort. So he's one of the all-rounders that the Karachi Kings were looking for. He's very good with the bat, like Hazy said, sets up beautifully, can hit the long ball. Probably should have played all games to start off with, but if they can get the balance of the international players right. And then he can bowl those 4 overs. Plus, he gives you that international experience of being captain for so many sides. So whenever, if David Warner does require, he's another sort of intelligent head under that lid.
And just one thing about it, I mean, he had to play today because obviously we saw that track was turning in game 2 and it was going to turn even more, or not even more, was going to turn again today because it was getting a little bit worn and it was drying up quite a bit. But it's going to be a different story when we move to the other pitch now, because that's for the last 2 games. That's Australian soil from the WACA, so that's going to be a bit more bouncy and it's going to be more compact, and it's going to be a whole different situation where, and David Warner, I think, said it to you in the presentation, that the 3 tracks so far have been very different, and it's going to be different again to get to the next 2. So I think that's going to be a nice little challenge for the skippers too, to get the balance of their team right.
Headache for selectors too. So many options it seems now. Mohammad Nabi just brilliant today at all facets of the game, has to be said. But boundaries, well, when you make 70 odd again, James Vince is bound to hit a few. Let's take a little look at his boundaries of the evening.
Yeah, absolutely good. He is elegant to watch. He's a class act, and he's never trying to overhit the ball. The other thing that he can do is access all sides of the field. Very strong back foot, can time it, can hit it, and when, like I said earlier, when required, he can put the foot on the pedal as well and apply that impetus towards the back end. Phenomenal, a run of form, and he's making it count when it matters more. 70, follows up with that big 100 in that first game that they won.
Big 56-run win to the Karachi Kings sees them go to 3rd on the table now and repair some of that net run rate that was in the deficit. 4 points for them now, just sitting behind Lahore Qalandars, who played the same amount of games, and Islamabad United, obviously still undefeated. But Quetta Gladiators, bit to think about for them now, only winning 1 from 3 matches. And HBL PSL action, of course, rolls on tomorrow. Match number 9. We are back at Rawalpindi starting at 7:25 p.m. local time. You're not going to want to miss this. Babar Azam and his men up against Mohammad Rizwan and the Multan Sultans. So much class there to experience, and hopefully a wonderful batting track as well for those 2 to get stuck into. My goodness, well, things are really starting to heat up here in the HBL PSL. Karachi Kings, after a torrid time of it last season, starting to look the goods, starting to see how teams are sort of finding their way in this tournament. I'd love to get your thoughts on where you think they're placed at the moment, and, you know, what do you think is going to happen as we start to move to some new locations?
I think it's going to be fascinating to see what happens when we go to Lahore, because I mean that's going to be obviously a big crowd support, particularly for the Qalandars, and I think it's going to make a massive difference, as it always does. So I think we're going to see a real spurt at that venue. It's quite a good crowd here tonight, which is good to see as well, but I think that's going to make a massive difference to the whole environment, and I think things are going to change quite considerably over the next little while. Of course, the next game when Islamabad are here, that's going to be a really crucial one, because if they happen to win that, I mean, then things are sitting pretty for them as we all change venues and move forward. So it's an interesting position right now, and I think it's just starting to fire up nicely.
And you don't want to get off to a terrible start in this league format of the game, but Peshawar Zalmi and Multan Sultans, they need a win, Arush.
Both of them eyeing their first win. Both of them the biggest names in Pakistan cricket. Babar Azam, he takes on Mohammad Rizwan. How they churn it out and how they've gone. They really haven't put up a complete performance. And Multan Sultan especially, 4 finals on the trot. Babar Azam in his new colours in yellow for a couple of times now. He will make sure that he comes good with the bat primarily. But I think it's interesting, and you're absolutely right. In this, you want to be peaking at the right time, but also in that you don't want to get left behind too much. So both teams eyeing a win tomorrow.
And Babar Azam, just quickly, 9-1. Can you believe it, in 2 innings? He goes big tomorrow, surely.
He's one of the finest players I've ever seen. I mean, he's a wonderful batsman, and I mean, I would dearly love to see him find some really good form for the rest of the HBL PSL, because he's a treat to watch, and of course they need him as well to fire up.
Oh, cannot wait for that super exciting contest tomorrow. Back up in Pindi. Rouge, Mike, thank you so much for your time. Brilliant work as always. Bahut shukriya for joining us at home. We will see you tomorrow though for a big match, the Maha match between the Zalmi and Multan. It's a very good night from us though here at the pitch side. We'll see you tomorrow.